My email got buried with lots of emails, and I was supposed to join a talk today with Chris Robinson, but I managed to get in on the last hour, which is better than nothing. I posted the link for his book, so if you're interested in buying the book and using your leadership skills, you can go on there and click the link. You'll get the replay of the event, and you'll get bonus materials that you can work through. So I've been contacting different schools, different companies, trying to get some funding for my spiritual direction. And I don't want to be living in this small place. I want to buy a big house. I have big dreams. I have more things I want to accomplish. And I'm hoping that the companies I contacted will come through for me. I reached out to Goodman's, I reached out to EY, to KPMG, to a bunch of different places. I looked at RBC, but they I don't qualify for what they're doing. They're looking at people who are interested in food programs, and they're focusing on America, so I won't be able to send it to them. But if anybody knows anyone who's willing to put up sponsorship for me, financial gifts, this is what I was supposed to do as a spiritual director from the time I graduated. But I did it through my GoFundMe. Now I'm doing it this way through videos, because I'm not planning on downsizing. I'm planning on upsizing. This place was too small for me to begin with. I want a proper music room. I want a proper study. I want a proper dining room. I'm not planning on downsizing. And people who are ready to retire, good for them. If they feel that the next dynamic generation is coming up, good for them. I'm still dynamic. I'm still looking at what I have to offer, and I'm still looking at going into traveling, doing the things that I want to do. So I'm still sending out my job applications, and if you're coming to Canada, you'll be like me. You'll be exploited, because this country doesn't appreciate you. They put you in small contracts, 3 to 6 months. They'll pay you $11.25 an hour. So eventually you get to the point I got to, and you're like, you know what, I need to, if the priests are not going to help me and support me, I need to really look at expanding my horizons and doing something differently. So that's why I'm doing this. Everyone that came to me for spiritual direction, I took for free. People through the Spiritual Directors International, people that contacted me through Christian organizations, I did it all for free. But I also need to earn a living. I need to have an income coming in, and I need to be able to upgrade things. Like I got that couch replaced this year. I had that sleeper couch since 2007. When I moved into my first place. So that's what my plans are, that's what my goals are, that's what my aims are. And my mother's complaining that we are supposed to be taking care of her, and we are not. We don't do anything. So I told her, you know what, if I had more money, if I was spoken of better, if I was given promotions, then I would be able to do more. But I've done what I can. The same way my sister told me she's done what she could, I did what I could. I'm not available to listen to people's complaints and to, the spiritual direction is not a place to come to complain. It's a place to come to deepen your prayer life. So I'm not giving up on my dreams, my hopes, and I am the best there is. It doesn't matter whether they pay me 2 pence or whether they pay me $1 million. That doesn't take away from me being the best there is. And Teleperformance can now turn around and say, oh no, your scores were not that good. Yes, they were. Your clients are rude. Your customers are rude. That's why they're losing money. So don't put it on me. I did everything right. I know how to dress. I know how to talk. I know how to walk. I took deportment and grooming in Zimbabwe for my pitmans. So don't come and tell me that I don't know how to dress. I know how to do all those things. And I'm hoping I'll get something where I can oversee things, where I can work with somebody who's going to treat me properly, and treat me right, and not jip me because I took 15 minutes to go to the washroom because I was upset, or agree that yes, you can have an extra 15-minute break at Teleperformance, and then say, when? We never agreed to it. And then the emails disappear. That's not what I want. So please put my name forward for work, for opportunities, for good paying jobs, and also for my John Maxwell, for speaking, for helping in schools, working with the teachers, the faculty, doing things like this because I have the skills, I have the education, and then maybe I'll be able to help my mother like she expects, because my expectations are not met from them and their expectations are not met from me. Because my expectation was that they would help me, not my mother because she didn't have the money, but my aunts and uncles would have helped me to keep my property. Then I could help the next generation coming up. But they chose not to do that. So I have to do it on my own. And I'm not joking when I say I do not have any money in my bank account. I'm not joking when I say that the employment insurance ran out months ago. I'm not joking about any of it. I'm very serious. So if you know anybody that can help me with some funding, with financial gifts, please do encourage them to give. And it's not just on my family. When you train to become a spiritual director, when you help in the church, when you do things and you don't have an income, the community is expected to help. So all these politicians I helped, Marco Mendicino, Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre, Stephen Harper, they all know people who know people. And this is my time of need, so I'm asking for the money to come in through my GoFundMe link, through platforms. They could send me a check in the mail. They could do it as a birthday gift for me. I'm not joking. I've reached out to schools in Zimbabwe. I've contacted them to say they're not giving me the funding here. They spoiled Witt's reputation. They spoiled my reputation. They said, yes, we'll help you, we'll do everything, we'll give you the funding, and then they let me down. They let Wits down. So if I can get that funding through the banks in South Africa, through the schools in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, I'm willing to do it that way. But I do not want to go and rent a room in a house. This is not my end game in life. When my life is over, I want to own properties. I want to be traveling. I want to be able to afford first-class tickets. And I'm helping charitable organizations. I'm helping those less fortunate than me. So I don't see why people will not support me in my endeavors. This is not, for me, this is not success. Success was the big house we had in Zimbabwe with lots of land around it, with beautiful serpentine verandas, with cars of your own. That's success. So if you don't like my version of success, that's fine. But that's my version of success. Being able to go out to eat in a restaurant sometimes, being able to go to the drive-in. Even when we were poor, my grandparents and my mother gave us those things, and yet I'm in a first world country and I can't afford them. Why? Because they want to pay me $11.25 an hour, or they want it free. And when you ask them for an increase, they give you a 50-cent increase. Or they tell you, oh, we might be able to do 2 cents, and they're not joking. And my mother thinks it's funny. I told her, I'm not joking. You think it's funny? I told her, call Teleperformance. Call them and ask them how much increase they gave us. She thinks I'm joking when I tell her these things. They gave us a 50-cent increase. Big, multi-billion-dollar company. 50-cent increase. That's supposed to cover your phone, your internet, your electricity, your transportation, and when you're working at home, it's supposed to cover that for the company too. So, you know what? My mother doesn't believe me. That's why it's good that they coordinated it. They coordinated it because they didn't believe me. Now I hope the police tell them the truth. because I'm the one that told the truth. I'm the one that did good for Father Larry in the parish, for Peter Knox, for Damien Howard. I'm the one that supported them. I want that support to be returned to me. Because they should all be thinking, we're ashamed that Belinda has to struggle like this. They should all be thinking of me and what they can do to help from where they are, so that I can achieve my dreams. It's not my mother's life. It's not my sister's life. It's not my brother's life. It's my life. I did a lot when I was in England. I took the opportunities. I traveled. I went on paddy wagon tours. I went on day trips. I took advantage of everything I possibly could, just the way I did in Canada. I went to everything that was free, because I never had the money to do the things I wanted to do. I never did. This is not success, where you have to go and ask people, can you help me? Can you give me money? But that's part of what I have to do as a spiritual director, because people don't give. If you don't know, you don't give. So now you know. I need the financial help. I help lots of people. I saw that photo of Annie with the Sisters of St. Joseph. I helped her too. I helped her and all of her sisters. Now it's my turn.